What is up? We are back. It is episode
119.
Yes, it is episode
119.
119 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John. Yay. In
and
2022.
Hang on.
Do we have
As
the
you
third?
all know, it's not just a duo. It's a threesome, kids.
It's a trio.
Maybe not the kind that you're
We're
used
a power
to seeing on the
trio.
internet, but
Don't say threesome. It's a power trio.
There you go.
Scott Torrential Water. Oh, let me hang on.
Sorry, man. I had some computer issues.
No, you're good. You're good. So we are back for episode 119. We've been out for a couple of weeks. Took a nice extended break for a couple of weeks there, 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember how long it was.
Last
We're back for 2022. And so today we're just going to kind of scatter shoot a little bit and talk about some stuff that we picked up over the holidays and stuff we're looking forward to in 2022. And just so I've got a couple little things that I want to bring up. But the first thing I want to say, apparently I just went over 10,000 steps sitting down.
Well, look at you.
I know, right?
That must be was that a holiday gift?
No, I've had this for years.
Oh, you just haven't used it.
No, not in a long time. So, yes, we are back, episode 119. I can barely believe that we are at 119. And I'm going to tell you something that made me happy. As we were going live, there were already people watching the stream, and that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
I never pay attention to that, but as I continue to learn to produce, it's fun. And speaking of producing, Monkey Butt put out a new update about 4 hours ago. Sit down, shut up, and hang on YouTube. So go check out Monkey Butt's latest update on how he is doing. We would love it if you would go and send him a kind word. I think things are going as well as could be expected. Last time I talked to him, he was in great spirits and he felt like everything was going as well as it could be going. So cool. I'm going to do a shout out real quick. Let's go around the table. First of all, your shirt says Demolition Hammer.
I ended the year easy. I'm going to start the year easy, but it's going to get worse as the year goes on. You're just going to say pile of sticks. I give up.
I decided to do one too, and I wore my hair over part of it, so it made it really hard.
I think it says push.
Oh man, how'd you get it?
Or is it Rusk?
Rust.
It's us.
Well, I'm going to shout out.
It's
Scott.
us.
You're going to think this is funny, Scott. So you and I were speaking on the phone earlier today, and we brought up the name of the great Shannon Fry. And guess who messaged me not 5 minutes ago?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I briefly had a quick exchange with Shannon. So Shannon is watching. Shout out to you, brother, and Avenger of Blood and all things that you're involved in. And the information has been sent, my good man. Thank you for watching. Who's your shout out, Car Crash?
Let's see. I'm going to shout out every record store that remained open over the holidays. Because I had a very, very quiet, boring holiday. Kind of hung out and did some football watching and relaxed and put my feet up and then I hit a few record stores to wish myself a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. So shout out to Born Late Records, Panther City, Docs, even the enigmatic Forever Young and Josie Records, freaking awesome. And I'm going to shout out ZT Records also, because I found something at ZT that probably was from your collection through somebody else that I'm going to show when we're talking about what we picked up over the weekend.
Yes, he's building suspense. I like it.
I'm building suspense, yes.
How about you, Scotty?
I'm going to shout out my friend Nick Masaccio, who survived COVID despite already having lung issues. He's got a lung disease and has to be on oxygen, and they gave him zero hope. And within 7 days, he was back home again.
Fantastic. We love that. Let's do
went from
double
being
metal
on a-
horns on that, everybody. What's his name?
Nick Masaccio. Yeah, he was.
Nick.
Double metal horns, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's good news. God, it looks like my arms are 8 feet long.
Or your head is like super small.
Yeah, I mean, he was on a ventilator, 100% breathing for him, and within 7 days, he was back.
That's awesome.
That's miraculous.
That's
really
that's
cool.
exactly what I said. Sorry, I bumped my camera.
Oh, that's cool.
Miracle, exactly.
Yeah.
That's my shout out because I'm just pumped about it.
Well, let's roll. We want to be as interactive with you today as we can. Anybody that's picked up something cool over the holidays, anything you're looking forward to in 2022. We don't have a specific topic other than that's kind of going to be the theme. So yeah, chime in the comments. I'll do a lot of producing and letting the experts talk, but I want to kick off the show by talking about something that I received in the mail just today. And if I were going to pick one thing that I discovered in 2021, it might have been late 2020, but for sure it came to fruition in 2021 and exploded, and it showed up in my mailbox today.
Oh, wow.
The Stone Trip EP is here, and guess how many there are?
I hope there's at least 3.
Oh, right on.
Yep. So I ordered one and ordered a couple because I usually like to keep one sealed. But then one of the guys reached out and said, "Hey, man, you overpaid. And so we're going to throw another one in for free." So that's perfect. So it comes with the EP. And I freaking love this band. I am not kissing their asses because we have gotten acquainted with them. I freaking love this band so much. So on Golden Robot Records, this thing just came out a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks now. Golden Robot Records. It's a 5-song EP. Oh, let's find the bad song out of the 5. Sideways. No, that's not it. Runaway. No, that's a pretty good one. Nightmare. Yeah, pretty good. My Angel. Fantastic. 5. Oh, shit. There's not a bad note on it. Bah! I love this thing so much. And I have not cracked it open because I haven't been home long enough, but I can't wait to spin this in its entirety. And honestly, they were doing videos and talking about these songs, throughout the year, because Sideways is my favorite. I don't know if they're ever going to eclipse that for me. I freaking love that song. And but I have actually not heard Wild Hearted Son yet because I wanted to wait for the CD to come so I could hear the whole thing at once. And I know, Scott, you do that sometimes.
Yep.
You'll wait and just not even play the teasers. But also, it comes with easy, killer. I can do this.
Something broken, right?
What?
It comes with a cool poster.
Oh, cool.
For My Angel. Yeah, so that's pretty sweet, man, that showed up today. And we had Mark and Con on the show. So go back and check out Stone Trip, check out Golden Robot Records, because not only is Stone Trip great on that label, but these guys, when I found out they were on Golden Robot, I went and investigated that Australian label, and holy cow, they have got a great stable of bands, including, but not limited to, Cicada Stone. Very heavy, cool Alice in Chains vibe. Freaking love that band. So I can't say enough about discovering Golden Robot this past year and continuing to see Stone Trip do their thing. So you boys, I'll have that out this week.
Yay.
I feel like we win.
Yeah, we do win. Man, lots of comments already. Papa Wayne's here. Fraser's already telling you that you are kissing their butt.
I am.
I agree, but why not? They're awesome.
Yeah, I'll pop up some of the... Sorry.
And yes, Mark Fields, I agree. Demolition Hammer just absolutely destroys. I ran merch for them when they did a little comeback tour a few years ago, and Steve and the boys just absolutely shredded. It was unfreaking believable. But Anyway,
Do
so
any of you guys have this in the background?
let's
I don't.
see.
I don't
No,
think I do either. I'm not sure. Well,
nope, I
I'm
don't.
not sure which room he's talking about. And you're right, it should be.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fraser, what's up, dude? From H-Town. Mark Fields from Boston. Watch the Texans.
Yeah. Well,
Well, fair enough.
let's not go down that road, Cowboy fan.
You're welcome, Shannon. Thank you for being here. I've seen your icon before, and I didn't realize it was you.
Yep.
Happy New Year. Booyah.
So Christmas, I don't know about you guys, but Christmas is always kind of a mixed bag for me because people always ask me, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm easy, quite honestly. I mean, you could just give me a couple of gift cards and I'd be off to the races, or a brand new pair of jeans. But then, that's just too easy. So I usually just go and hunt myself, and then I never wrap it up, but I stick it under the tree just for grins. But hey, I want to shout out our amigo Rob Doom McNeese down in H-Town for picking up the Frank Marino Live 1 and 2. These are really, really awesome, and they were sold out here. I found one place that had one volume and had the second volume, but unless I had the first one, I didn't want the second one. So I appreciate him picking those up for me. That was a good score, and I've been sort of on a Frank Marino bender here at the end of the year, especially since I commandeered one of the box sets with the Blu-ray with the 3 2-hour sessions on DVD and a huge book. Man, see how easy it is to shop for me? They just give you a list and you can just go crazy. But yeah, I've been really on a Frank Marino bender and understood that I used to like the guy back in the day too. But man, he just doesn't stop. He's relentless. He can play just about anything. So anyway, what do you got, Scott? What did you pick up this holiday season?
I got some gifts from my family, which was nice. Usually they're not into buying me music because they basically all think I have enough music, and they were like, they always want to get you something different.
Do you ever have enough?
No, you can't. It's like having too much money, or
music is like money. There you go.
Too much. Can you have too much? I don't think so, but
no,
what do I know, right? Anyhow, I picked. My mom got me a few CDs, which I thought was really nice. Pat Travers double CD, Live at Rock Blast, 1976.
Oh man, I bet that's killer.
It is.
Man, all of those Rock Blast are just
really good. Great. Exactly. But yeah, disc 1 is the CD, and disc 2 is the DVD of the performance.
Oh,
check
dude,
that picture out right there, though.
Is that?
Oh, that's Nico McBrain.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, it is. A very young Nico McBrain. But yeah, Nico played for Pat Travers' band for quite a while before joining Iron Maiden.
I did not know that.
And then
interesting.
And then my mom also picked me up another CD. Someone had to say it.
Good grief.
You didn't say it, though. Go ahead. Say it loud.
Osric Tentacles. Brand new Osric Tentacles, Space for the Earth. Brand new being it's actually almost been out a year, and I just didn't have it yet. So
well, I had a copy, but you didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
God.
have the. I didn't have the turquoise blue limited edition copy.
Hold on.
This one?
So I picked. Oh, do you have the turquoise blue too?
Yeah, I picked up a copy of that too.
Sweet.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just get it out of the way. Let's
do it. Let's do it. Yes. Yes, Arborescence. What a great record.
Yes, it is a great record. I have that one too.
That's a really good one.
And then let me show you a couple more CDs real quick. And
awesome.
A buddy of mine, Puddle Glum. Anybody know Puddle Glum? Puddle Glum is on YouTube, and his name is Marty Phillips on Facebook. But anyhow, he's been a longtime friend of mine, and he sent me this gift out of the blue. But this is the brand new Neo Morse Band.
Oh wow!
It's a huge package. Check this thing out.
It's a huge package.
It is a huge package.
He did say huge package. Well,
Oh, I got to get something.
those albums are usually super epic. I mean,
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, it's like those those 3-disc Dream Theater things.
That's exactly what you got going on here. It's basically 2 discs is the album, and then there's a DVD which I have yet to see. But yeah, and then it's got this massive booklet in it.
And the Euros just love that stuff. So there's always going to be bands like that around, those epic like Sonata Arctica, Neil Morse Band, stuff like that. Yeah.
So anyhow, and then one more CD I'll show. And this one nobody bought for me. I bought it for myself, but the year end was coming. I had to do my list, and I didn't want to miss out on this one because I love this band and this, of course, this vocalist. But the new UDO had to snag it.
How is that thing?
Over. It's fantastic. It is really good. It is one of his best in a long time. The production's great. The songwriting's great. And if I had any complaints at all about it, it's going to be an odd complaint. It's got too many songs on it. It's got 16 songs. I think it overstays its welcome a little bit. But other than that, the songs like I See Red, just a great driving heavy riff. It just sounds like something would expect from classic, but it's got this little twist in it that I really dig, where the riff starts and it kind of warps, and then the riff comes right back in again. It's a small minor thing, but it's just really cool. Yeah, the whole album's great. Like a Beast is fantastic. The opening track, Fear Detector, is great, and of course there's got to be a song about metal on here, and that song is called Metal Never Dies.
And that's correct.
And then also there is, of course, the obligatory ballad on there as well. But like I said, 16 tracks, new Udo. I picked it up on CD, did not pick it up on vinyl. Just didn't have the money for that. So there you go. That's my CD haul from the Christmas holiday.
I love Mark Fields. Always bringing he's always bringing the grungy, crusty, grinding swill of music.
And that dude's I'm not going to say anything other than this, but that dude's got a project coming up, Carcass, that you need to pay attention to. I'm not going to say anything else other than that, but he and I spoke this past week, and dude, he has got something that is going to completely dominate your radar.
Right on. I can't wait.
You're going to be happy.
I can only imagine.
Oh, dude.
Hey, speaking of Papa Wayne, he did. He sent that. He says, "Have you ever heard of Formula 400?" And I was like, "Of course, no, I haven't." And man, it is solid rock and roll. You should check it out. Speaking of solid rock and roll, though, anyone ever heard of this?
Yep, that's the very first album of the 3. Great UK hard rock band.
Yeah,
love that album.
Another power trio. This was thrown at me by the infamous King Henry at Born Late, and I thought it was his band. I thought it was the new can I say it? Smoking Lightning, with the guy from, I don't know. Can we say that?
Did.
Oh well, he's got a new project brewing with Mothership guys and Dixie Witch guys. But anyway, I thought it was them. This thing is heavy. It's grungy. It's a terrifying 3-piece from this. I think this was from 71.
70s. Yeah, it's the 70s.
Yeah, 71.
Probably not that early, but it was 70s, and that was the first of 3 albums they put out.
Right, maybe 76. And I
think it was more like 76.
Because the second one came out in 78 or whatever. But anyway, Dirty Tricks. This was take some notes on this one. This one's really good.
I'm writing down Formula 400.
Yeah, you'll dig them. They're really good. And you know, we had Nigel Glockler on, and remember he said that he played on the Steve Howe track on the Guitar Speaks.
Yep.
Well, look what I found in the 299 bin, and this thing looks like it's never been played. And sure enough, he's listed as the drummer on the Steve Howe track. So I just thought, man, that was too convenient.
Man, so, Nigel was great.
I picked that up for myself. What say you, Roberto?
I did not get much music over the Christmas break. I was so busy with projects. Those King's X albums came out that Scott and I were able to work on. That was pretty cool. So that dropped that may have dropped before Christmas break. But anyway, those came out. My copies came. That was pretty cool. to get those in the mail, and then some other stuff that we worked on showed up. So that was cool. But when I went to Pennsylvania, yep.
Wait,
indeed.
Wait.
There's more.
The Ty Tabor.
Yep. We got to work on those. I remastered them, and Scott redid all the artwork, and they're just, I don't want to I don't mean this in a way to toot my own horn.
Go ahead, toot your own horn because they sound fantastic.
Well, thank you. But Brutal Planet is doing a great job, and Retroactive Records doing a great job of putting out these albums, and those were on Brutal Planet, right?
Those are Brutal Planet, yep.
Okay. And so I've known Matt for years, and so I was really thrilled to get to work on them, and I was thrilled with the feedback. But once again, in fine style, Matt does top-notch packaging at Brutal Planet. Scott does top-notch artwork, and I'm shaky at best in the audio department. Let's face it.
Let me throw a little, while you're talking about him, I just wanted to, some people asked me about the Triton when we had the interview with him and all that kind of stuff. There's copies of the 2 LP vinyl on Boone's Overstock right now for like $20.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Boone'sOverstock.com. You can get that Ty Tabor reissue. You can get the Pound Hound reissue.
And the Triton, Blood of Kings.
Yeah. The 3 Kings X. Yeah. But what I was going to say before I got sidetracked there was I, back in the summer, was able to visit Mirror Records. I went to House of Guitars up in Rochester with a friend, and I can't remember if I knew that that's where Mirror was or not. But anyway, I was able to get a hold of some stuff.
Make yourself big so we can see him.
Bumble Dog.
No, Rumble Dog.
Rumble Dog?
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are new old stock, and I was able to get a few copies of these, and I'm putting some of them up online for sale. But they're kind of spicy meatballs. But I sent Scott a copy of these on cassette because I know he's a big fan, and he'll tell you about that in just a second. But also, I didn't even know this existed.
Whoa.
I had no idea that this was even a thing. So while I was there, the great Eric Schauerbach, I think I didn't butcher his name, he hooked me up with some copies of those, and I've got them in some stores that I stock and online and whatever. But holy cow, new sealed old stock. I was like a kid in a candy store. So I grabbed some of that, and my buddy very kindly hooked me up with shipping, and was able to work that deal out. But dude, this sent me into, let me take myself, there we go. This sent me into a tizzy of Dirty Looks worship. And I have played their entire catalog over and over and over since the summer. I've always been a fan, but I had no idea I was missing this album. I was missing Gasoline. I was missing ICU. And so I call up Scott, and I'm like, dude, I love Dirty Looks. I know you like Dirty Looks. Tell me what's the deal. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're missing this one and this one. And oh, I've got my letter from Heinrich. And I'm like, what? So tell the quick story about you and Heinrich.
Well, I mean, I lived in, they're basically a band from Rochester. I mean, well, Heinrich's originally from Europe, and then he moved to Pennsylvania. But when they became a big band, they were basically from Rochester, and he pretty much lived in Rochester, New York, up until he passed away. And I went to school in Rochester, so they were a huge band, and I learned about them early on, picking up their In Your Face demo tape when I was in college. So I was a huge fan early on. So that's kind of how I got to know who Dirty Looks was, and I stayed a fan. But the odd thing is that's it, and that looks like the original cassette tape. Yep, that's
copy, baby.
That's nice. So yeah, that's my favorite album from them. That's probably because that's the one I discovered them on, you know. Right. But anyhow, so on my NoLifeTillMetal.com review site, which it's still up. I don't do it anymore because I just don't have time. But Henrik discovered my site somehow online and contacted me, and this was years ago, not maybe a couple years before he passed away, and just started chatting me up, thanking me for the page, whatnot. And one day he gets a hold of me and he says, "Hey man, can I have your phone number? Do you mind if I call you?" I'm like, "Geez, do I mind if Henrik calls me? I don't know." Yeah, sure, no problem. He says, "I just have a couple questions I want to ask you." Sure. So I ended up, building a friendship with him over the phone, and I didn't realize he was sick. He never mentioned it to me that he was sick and that he was having issues, but yeah, he ended up sending me not too long before he died. He sent me a letter thanking me for talking to him on the phone, and he had some questions about just life and music and spirituality and all this kind of different stuff. And so we had some pretty deep discussions. It was pretty nice. And then, like I said, he sent me this letter thanking me for the phone calls, and sent me the last CD they worked on, California Free Ride. So I still have that letter. And then he passed away not long after that. So was it, cool to get to know him a little bit before he passed away. He had to have known that he was sick, and he just wasn't telling anybody. He didn't tell me, that's for sure. Not that I was anybody special, but I didn't have any clue until I heard about it on the news. So,
well, and what's cool is this is why we love our musical heroes, because even if they pass, we get to respectfully carry on their legacy by listening to that music. And I have picked up so much. And I appreciate you turning me on to the ones that I didn't know about. And I appreciate Eric up there helping me get a hold of these. And gosh, what a great bunch of dudes, or seemingly, I haven't met them. But also, Jason McMaster stepped in a month or two ago. They did a show up in Pennsylvania, and I heard a rumor. Yep, the great Jason McMaster. Uh-oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, you'd better know about it. This thing shreds. But go ahead.
So he filled in for Henrik, or I don't know how you say it. I've always said Heinrich. I apologize.
It could be Henrik. I don't know.
But Henrik. No, I think you're right. I'm sorry. So he filled in for Henrik and sang the songs, and the other guys played, and the videos on YouTube sounded good. And I heard a rumor. I have no substantiating evidence, but I heard a rumor that it was recorded and might be released at some point. But I would love to get Jason on to talk about that. I'd like to know about the process. Obviously, Paul Lidell, he and Paul Lidell go way back, but I'd love to know about how that came about. And I would even think that it would be respectful, worthwhile, do a record. That's my vote.
Well, Jason's in so many different projects. I mean, he's got the Evil United. He had Watchtower for a while, Dangerous Toys. And speaking of our friends down under in Stone Trip, there's Chaos Massacre, also from Melbourne. And he continues to amaze me with he sends me like a riff every week.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. But
get your stuff, Mark, and we do check it out.
Yeah, we do check it out. And
being very responsive.
But you never know where Jason's going to show up. I noticed he was working at Waterloo Records one time on one of my trips to Austin. He was playing in a band called Activator. He's a very accomplished bass player, where he wasn't the front man, so that was a little unusual. But they were absolutely killer. And then when Bruce Corbett and Gina, his wife, renewed their vows, guess who was the preacher in charge? It was Jason McMaster. So it's like a jack of all trades and master of everything, the McMaster of everything, I guess, so to speak. But anyway, yeah, that would be kind of cool to see him in a different vibe like that in the.
I would love that.
He does.
Dirty Looks record with Jason singing, I think, would be great.
He does sort of have that kind of a Bon Scott vibe in certain musical circumstances. I was going to say
voice. He can sing anything.
Yeah, I was going to say
And God, that Rush cover that they did.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, what was that? Cygnus or whatever.
Yes, the Cygnus X1 project.
Holy crap, that was good.
I was gonna say Metal Mayhem said he got the new Hooded Menace. That thing is crushing. And
Here, I'll throw that up there if I can find it.
Yeah.
I'm doing too many things at once. Let me catch up on a couple things real quick. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. That thing is an absolute blistering hellish nightmare. It's so awesome.
I agree with this too that Fraser said. I'm looking forward to the Tony Martin. I thought he was a great singer in Sabbath.
Did you see his question about how long does it take you to remaster a record?
Oh, that's okay. Here we go. Hang on. I'm getting all out of order. Sorry. Okay. It depends. It depends on how many sources there are. I'm working on one right now, and I won't say because I don't think they've announced it, but it's a 2 CD set from a band.
Wow. Hey, that's let's see. Who is that?
It's an archival process. There were DAT tapes, cassette tapes, CDs, all kinds of stuff that we had to pull from. And a 2 CD set with so many different sessions. You have to treat each session differently. And so that takes hours upon hours upon hours. But if you send me a 10-song CD that's ready to go today, it takes me a little while to set it up, dial it in, figure out what I want, and then it takes real time. And then, there's uploading and maybe possible minor editing and stuff. So it could take, if I'm really, really, really on point and everything gets dialed in really quickly, from the time you send it to me to the time I upload it, if I really pushed and everything worked perfectly, I could have it back to you in 2 or 3 hours. But that's if it's the perfect storm. Typically, it's going to take a few hours from start to finish. So.
Well, and let me give you a public shout out because Rob is meticulous. No, you get back here. Rob is very meticulous, and I had a project of a bunch of old reel-to-reel tapes of just some family recordings and some practice rehearsal stuff for a close friend of mine, and there was no hope that any of this would ever see the light of day. But our friend Alberto, who's the vintage stereo restoration guy, was kind enough to put it to CD, and Rob put it, and I watched the process, and it really is involved, and you really do have to have the right equipment and know what you're doing. And he made these things sound so good. So let me just tell you right now,
that was fun.
That thing was such a big hit that you have no idea. You have lots of fans that haven't met you yet, and you haven't met. But I'm telling you,
awesome.
that was a real audio miracle, actually, because I played it on a couple of sound systems in my house, and it really does sound good.
Cool.
Awesome. So anyway, but I very much appreciate you doing that.
Dude.
So, Jason,
I never considered Dirty Looks to be glam, but or dangerous toys for that matter. They're pretty raw, and
I think they get lumped in there for the same reason Dokken does, or
but even Dokken had the look. Dirty Looks, man, they were all leather and jeans, and they just played dirty rock and roll.
Dokken admittedly had the look because they fell prey to the scene. They didn't even want to do it. They wanted to be a jeans and t-shirt band.
Right.
And then Under Lock and Key happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love the album, but the costumes, oh no.
And then Harmless Rebel mentioned Broken Teeth, which is another great Jason McMaster band.
Oh yeah, that's.
And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There was something I wanted to catch because I didn't recognize it, and I wanted you guys to comment on it. Here we go.
1914, brutal, absolutely brutal stuff.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, make a note. And the Hooded Menace. I saw the Hooded Menace back at Doom in June in Vegas back in, this would have been 2007 maybe. Solitude Eternus was there. Iron Man, Woefat, Hooded Menace, White Witch Mountain. I mean, there were some heavy hitters there, but Hooded Menace completely destroyed. They were really awesome then, and they're even better now, I think. But 1914, killer stuff. Highly recommend.
I'm going to pull myself off of the camera for just a second. I know you boys have got stacks of stuff you want to talk about. So, Carcass, why don't you hit it?
Okay, well, I did find a copy of this. This is the most recent Evil United, which is called Serpent, and it rips. I mean, it's more of a traditional thrash record than a heavy metal record. And then admittedly, I'm sort of steeped in the 80s pop thing, and this Molchat Doma, it's a Russian band, synth pop stuff, along the line of Kraftwerk. I picked these up, pretty cool. And speaking of synth, a guy named Paul Riedel, who's in an ambient band called Hovercraft over in Germany, but also plays in Blood Incantation. He sent me a mixtape, which is super cool, and it's all if you like Tangerine Dream and the like, you'll really dig that. It's one of my favorite new pieces. And speaking of synthesizers and chill, Steve Roach, one of my all-time favorites. He and Robert Rich, and these are even signed. So that was kind of a cool find. And have you ever heard of Soft Machine?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't know the music.
I know the name.
Yeah, real jazz infused. Some of them are all instrumental. Some of them have, but these guys were going since the late 60s. This is Alive in Paradiso from '69, and it's phenomenal. It's pretty much a psychedelic jazz explosion. So I felt really fortunate to find this. I never thought I would see it, and I'd seen it on the dreaded eBay for upwards of $200, and I think I paid $30 at a half price books of all places.
Soft Machine.
Yep. But anyway, I mean, see, the thing is I mean, you can go shopping for me at Christmas or birthday or whenever, but the best thing to do is just either go with me to the store and watch me get excited like a little kid when I find Jimi Hendrix, the second part of a live set from the motion picture live Last Experience, or I find, check this out. This thing has a story, and don't try and read it because it's called Mort White. It's a guy from Denton, Texas. And look at I don't know if you can see the little sparklies.
Kinda.
Yeah. But this is like super dark I mean, he hand wrote all this stuff. This is like limited to 25. I didn't know what it was, but I thought it was too cool. And for $5, I thought, well, maybe I'm supporting a local artist. And we've already got in touch with each other, and they're doing a huge fest here, hopefully in the summer here in Fort Worth. And you never know. But and he's got tons of stuff. In fact, his stuff goes for $50, $60, $100 for these limited edition tapes. So $5 was a bargain. But I don't know, Scott, what do you got? I feel like I'm dominating here.
I got tons of crap too, but I'm enjoying watching your stuff. I'm actually just sitting here being quiet and watching.
We have a question for Scott, actually.
Okay. How long does it take you to do graphic design on it? Wow, man, it really depends on what it is. I mean, I can tell you, I can never get one album done in one day. It just doesn't work like that. It depends if I'm doing the album cover. If I have to create the album cover and do all the layout, it can take several days to do. If the label provides me with everything, which unfortunately doesn't always happen, where they actually send me the lyrics and send me the liner notes and send me the cover art and all that kind of stuff, I can usually get that done in 4 or 5 hours. But that's assuming that everything's perfect, and that rarely ever happens. And then even if everything is perfect, then I have to send off that proof to the band and the label. And if the album's been licensed by some other label, Metal Blade, Century Media, Intense, whatever label it is, they also have to proof it and approve. So then I've got 3 or 4 people coming back with changes and corrections, and I don't like this and I don't like that, and can you change this and can you change that? So it takes a long time.
Yeah, and I
It's
get
not a
lucky in
fast
that
process.
regard because I don't have to deal with a lot of revisions and stuff. And man, yours is, that's tedious work, brother.
I can tell you honestly that last year I did Bride's, what was the name of that album? Snakes in the Playground, which was a really, really popular album. That album almost was a death of me. It sent me into an emotional spiral because it was so much work, and the revisions were insane. So anyhow, that's actually the album I finished up right before I came to Texas.
No wonder you were tripping.
Oh, I was in a weird place, man. But it wasn't that. I mean, it was just a mixture of things. But in any case, yeah, it takes a long time. But I'm also very particular and picky, especially when it comes to doing reissues of classic albums. I spend just scanning the cover. I can spend an hour or two just making sure that the cover that's already been created looks perfect, going in and cleaning up any bits of dust or like old printer marks that might be on there, or a scratch, or a what do you call those things? The white lines you see around them. Ringware, yeah, cleaning off ringware. I don't want any of that stuff. Making sure there's no bit mapping or any of that kind of stuff going on. So it can be pretty detailed. So it really depends on the project. Never less than 5 or 6 hours per project.
Well, yeah, and that's the difference between, and what you do is you have the tools to at least make those corrections. And the problem is when I do something like that Vindicator, I mean, I started and I finished the graphic itself, but if there had to be any changes, then I would have been in the same place you were when you headed to Texas.
Right.
because I can't, I mean, it's pen and ink. It's not like it's a computer generated thing.
Yeah.
And there's very few things that you can manipulate with a machine, but your stuff, I mean, they're just two different mediums, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, it's hard to say how much it takes. But thanks to guys like you that make my paltry little drawing look even better, because it was big and bold, and then with the logo behind it looked even more killer.
Well, we each got the question, so let's ask you the question, and let's just round this thing out, and then we'll kind of get back on on topic-ish, because we don't really have one.
Yeah.
So you did the Stone Trip art that came out on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
How long is it when you sit down, you get the idea? If you sit down and you've got the vision, how long does it take you to just get the idea down?
That one, and I'm not going to divulge all my little tricks, especially if we're looking at something that's symmetrical. Sometimes I'll draw only half, and then I'll cut and paste it on the machine and just flip it over just to save time. But that was about 7 hours of intense drawing, and once I get the initial sketch, I when I was in the tattoo business for a while back, it changed how I drew and how I approached things graphically, because they had to be easy to transfer. And there are plenty of people that are great artists that can't transfer that onto a tattoo. So anyway, the long and the short of it is what I do is I do a rough sketch, and I don't like to erase lines, so I always do an overlay, much like when you're getting a tattoo done. They'll do an overlay and they'll do a hard line, and then it's easier to see the light. Then I block in the dark colors, and then I fade out from there. And I usually use a stipple effect, which is ... I haven't used a shading effect for a long time, but you can definitely tell the difference. But that way it transfers easier to a dot will transfer easier than a gradient area. But the printer did a pretty nice job. I was pretty impressed. But that was a super detailed drawing, and he blew it up a big size, so it wasn't an issue.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks good. I was surprised, but but
I like that shirt a lot. But
yeah, the tattoo business changed how I do art, at least for a presentation. Now I just did something for Christmas that's completely different. I did it as a gift for a friend, and it wasn't anything. It was more graphic, cartoony. The flower thing that I sent, the flowers that never die. But I don't know. That's the cool thing about music is like art. Art is like music. I mean, there's just so much of it. There's different forms and there's different ways of doing it. And if it sounds good or looks good, then who cares?
Who cares what the process is? It's the final product.
Yeah, the final product. So,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
But
Hey,
yeah, thanks for asking.
Mark
Yeah.
Reap said Henry Frank's 2 for a Lie was a 21 standout. If you notice, when stuff like that, you always see, if not all of us, at least one of us doing this. I immediately saw that and had to go, oh, I have to look that up. Herman
Yep,
Frank.
I know. Because I remember reading about that, but I haven't heard it. So
Me either, and I forgot about it, so I immediately just wrote it down. So that's we do that. I notice it all the time. Somebody will say, "Check out this band," and I'll see Rob going, or then I'll see, and we all do it.
Well, and that's the whole purpose of the show. We don't have this big format, and we don't have. It's supposed to be guys sitting around drinking beer, talking about metal.
Well, it's not beer, but I do have a drink.
Whatever. So yeah, that's why I was I was doing this. So I had to go get a nice Liquid Death mountain water. But we will bow to no sponsor. I would love it if you'd
yes, we would if it were Liquid Death.
That's true. Now check this out. What Mark says. And this is another thing that I like about having the live show and the interactive stuff is here's Mark telling however many people are watching about this label from India,
Cyclopean Eye.
This is why we get together, kids.
Let me tell you what. There are some gnarly music going on over in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. I mean, it's shocking because we sort of think that as Americans or Europeans that they've sort of got the corner on the market, but man, metal is blowing up over in that in that Southeast Asian realm, and I mean some terrifyingly great stuff. Third Sovereign, Impiety, Pagan Fire, So,
Scott, didn't you have some stuff you were going to show?
Yeah. You ready?
Do it.
So this was a new band I had not heard of. The band sent it to me directly. I had done some work for them in the past, and they had a new project out, and they wanted me to check it out. So, Moonshine Zombies.
Huh.
They are not on a label. They sell direct. I love the cover art.
Yeah.
Dark, heavy metal, hard rock, whatever you want to call it. I actually sent him a message because he asked me what I thought of it, and what I told him was I thought it sounded like, quote, if I could find it, because I'm going to forget the names that I said. What's Peter Green? Peter, come on, help me out. Typo negative. It kind of has a sound.
Peter Steele.
Thank you.
Peter Steele.
I said Peter Green and I was lost. I couldn't think of it.
No, they like green. Typo negative loves green.
Yeah.
Right.
TJ's gonna come and bust you one.
But it also has and this might turn some of our people off to it. But I also heard vibes of like Volbeat and Godsmack as well in the sound. But it doesn't really sound like any of those bands like directly. It's not a rip off of any of them. I just kind of every once in a while like, oh, that kind of gives me a Typo negative vibe. Oh, that kind of gives me a Godsmack vibe. Oh, that kind of gives me a Volbeat vibe. And I think a lot of it is to do with it has that kind of dark vocal style, that a lot of those bands use, almost like a David Bowie-esque kind of style, but a little deeper and more sinister.
Right.
So, hey, I got some cassettes to show that I got picked up, and I don't do a lot of cassettes, so I'm kind of surprised. I got 5 of them sitting here that I picked up 3 myself, and then 2 were a gift from Harmless Rebel Steve, who he was watching, so maybe he still is. Actually saved him to show in this show, but he sent me The Accused, Gunning Like an Undertaker. Anybody remember The Accused?
Yeah,
yep.
I don't remember that. Pit Lord, killer band.
What's that?
Pit Lord. I'm reading William Wellman's comment.
crossover, hardcore / thrash. Although I always thought of the Accused more on the hardcore side than the thrash side. One I haven't even popped open yet, but I will. This is Oath. Brand new album from them, Computer Warrior. I ordered a brand new cassette deck because all my stereo stuff seems to be dying, so I had to get a new cassette deck. So I've got that coming in, and then 3 that I bought myself. We talked about this band earlier, but original copy of Dirty Looks Bootlegs on cassette tape, Shrapnel Records. Another Rochester band that that's how I discovered Dirty Looks. This band's also from there, but this is the cleaned up cassette version of Uncle Sam, Heaven or Hollywood. This is the censored version, the vinyl version that came out first. She's Not Wearing Panties, which I also have, but I have a big sticker in front of it. So if one of my grandkids happens to walk into the room and pulls it out, you won't. Yeah. And then finally, this is an all-out classic, and it's the original cover and original pressing and in great condition. But
oh wow, awesome!
Yeah, it's got the original tree, trees coming from her hands.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that was supposed to be something else, but yes, that's what it looks like.
Honestly, I like it just because it's original, but I prefer the cover with just her hands up as opposed to that because it's so odd. That's much better, but it's just cool to find an original copy of this in good condition for a decent price because these things, Hellstar cassettes, sell for ridiculous prices, and I don't know why that is, but anyhow, so there. And then let me show you one more thing.
Badass.
I'm gonna show you one more thing. I'm gonna show you one more thing, but I'm not gonna. I'll show you 2 more things, but I can't open either one of them up yet. Remember these things? The old 7-inch.
Yep.
I bought a collection from a friend. Oh, I shouldn't say. Well, a guy I recently met who is now a friend who also lives in New Mexico. Bought a collection of 7-inches from him, a bunch of Judas Priest stuff and some other stuff, and he threw in the little case for like $5. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take that old case for $5. So I'm gonna open up this case and show all this stuff on my channel next week. And then this was a gift from my kids, and I still haven't opened it yet because I want to do a live opening.
Is that the box set?
It is the 45th anniversary limited edition Super Deluxe CD and Blu-ray audio box set.
Wow.
So here you go. Look at the amount of music on this thing.
Is it live tracks, demo tracks?
Let me go. I'll go over it with you because you can't see what it is. So disc 1 is the original album remastered. Disc 2 is all the demos they recorded for it. So it's got 15 demos, and I've heard some of these, but not all of them. There's 15 demos from Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. There's no demos from Ace on here at all, which is, I'm sure, because he's not in the band anymore. Disc 3 is all the alternative mixes, alternative outtakes, alternative guitar solos, all that kind of stuff from the studio for Destroyer. And that's got 22 tracks of alternative mixes and versions and even songs that didn't make the cut, like Ain't None of Your Business. Disc 4 is 1976 Live in Paris from that tour. And the Blu-ray audio is what do you call it? Destroyer. It's basically the Destroyer album in Blu-ray, and it's got bonus tracks of the acoustic mix of Beth and the original guitar solo that Ace did for Sweet Pain.
So it's vinyl and CD?
No, it's all. I don't think so. I haven't opened it yet. I think it's just CD, but I don't know for a fact.
That looks awfully big for.
Well, it's got 73 tracks, 48 unreleased. It's got a 68-page hardcover book.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's got 1976 Army kit replica, on-tour program replica, 2 black and white promo photos, 4 black band glossies, 3 Kiss stickers, 3 Kiss posters, 3 flyers, 2 stage blueprints, 4 trading cards, and iron-on, and a track-by-track newspaper.
Wow.
It's a pretty massive thing, so
I guess
looking
so.
forward to opening it.
I'll be watching your channel to see that.
One
Yeah,
more
no
thing,
doubt.
and I've never seen one of these before. I knew they made them, but I'd never seen one. Over in Europe, they have this. You always see people holding up the scarves at well, they call them football, but soccer games with their teams on it. Well, I didn't realize that bands sold scarves over there on their tour.
Oh wow, that's killer.
So it's the overkill scarf from the European tour, and the same awesome dude who sold me all these 7-inch singles, he also sold me this thing here for a killer price, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that. That's got to be in my room somewhere.
Yeah, that is really
I
cool.
found the one I told you about. I'll send it to you.
And then he threw in a Motorhead mug, which I thought was cool.
Everybody needs a Motorhead mug.
Everybody needs a friend like this.
A Motorhead
no
patch.
kidding.
I mean, a Twisted Sister patch, stitched patch, a Lemmy magnet, and
What's this guy's? Where does he live again?
in
Yeah,
New
give
Mexico,
us his address.
and a Motorhead pewter pin.
Oh my gosh, we want to be.
I
his
mean,
friend.
like I said, I bought a collection, so and those are just kind of the extra stuff that he threw in with it.
Yeah,
So
heck, I'll mow his lawn for a couple of months just to, if I can get a
Yeah, no shit.
overkill scarf.
yeah, I was like, I've just never seen one before. I mean, they used to do in the 80s, on the American tours, the bands used to sell the bandanas. Remember the black bandanas with logos on it? I have some of those, but I've never seen the actual, an actual scarf like that. So anyhow, that's my most of my haul, and we're almost out of time, so I can be done now.
Well, I got two more things.
Go for it.
And one of which I thought we were doing a top 10, but we already sort of did. But this is one of my top records of the year, and this is Tribal Gaze from, of all places, Longview, Texas. And I bought the gold copy when I saw him live with Forebode, and I picked up a different color copy just because I could. But Mr. Roberto, I don't know how this slipped past me. I go to your place and I look at your inventory before it goes out. But this is the last jackhammering death blow of Nightmarish Trepidation by PLF. This is Houston's finest speed grind, and it was the missing link in my PLF collection. So
You know where that came from?
this did not come from Poser Mark.
No. It came from Metal Mark in Boston.
Really?
I think so.
Well, thank goodness for Small Favors, because that right there made my collectible year. That's freaking awesome, and of course that's the enigmatic Sawblade that did that great cover art. He's my mentor, my liege. I try to follow in his footsteps the best I can, but that guy's on a different level.
He's a badass.
Artistically. But anyway, but we'll keep buying music, won't we? But the year-end stuff is kind of fun because it's like I know that we're all busy. We all have side gigs and regular jobs and all that stuff, but it's sure is fun to just have some time off.
Yes.
Where we could kind of relaxingly go through the bins and find cool stuff, especially when there's no real agenda and you just feel like, that's how most of this stuff was found,
Well,
yeah,
I agree, and that's just the fun of metal and getting to know people, because now I'll get a message every now and then from somebody that's watching the show, or Mark will send us a song or whatever, and I just dig it. That's what's cool about. Oh yeah, somebody needs to get some posters signed.
I'm working on it. I need a roadie down to Varnum's house, down in the bayou.
I got one of these full size for you, John, and one for Rob.
Awesome, thank you.
Bring it on. That is going on the battle jacket for sure.
Matter of fact, this one right here is Rob's. So,
well,
John's just sitting back here with some other stuff I have for him.
Well, let's close this out for the first. Excuse me.
Hey, Rob.
Good grief! I know I need that.
What the heck?
I've seen the cover when you showed me that earlier. I've seen the cover, but I've never seen that.
I love this album. I'm not a big fan of compilations, but this is the worst of Dirty Looks, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm all over that. Comps, live stuff, I don't care. I'm buying. If it says Dirty Looks on it, I'm getting it. So, really quickly, we're a little over time, but that's okay. So, give me one record that you're looking forward to in 2022, because that was a question that was asked.
I'm looking forward to the new Blood Incantation. Supposed to be out in March.
Hard to say, man. There's so much music out there.
Hands down, Blood Incantation. There's some
I
killer.
can't wait for the new Saxon, and
Oh,
not
yeah.
That's a good
we had
choice.
Nigel on.
That's a good choice.
I want to see him live. I haven't seen him live in a long time.
And I'm also wanting the good grief. The Eric Wagner album comes out, I think, in February.
Oh, true that. Yeah.
I just thought of it. New King's X coming out in 2022.
Woo! There you
Yep.
go. All right,
All right.
kids. Any parting shots?
I already got my vaccine. I'm
Hey,
good.
man. Yeah, we don't. Stone Trip. Stone Trip does rule.
I freaking love this. I'm going to go play it right now.
Hey, we
I
need to
can't
get
wait to-
those
I
guys
can't wait to
back
hear
on
it.
to talk about it.
Yeah, we can do that.
I doubt they'll let them out of the house, but they can at least dial
I
us
think
up
they're
on the internet.
lockdown again. I don't know.
They are. That's I heard. Bummer.
Ooh, new
Right on,
guys
guys.
here.
Well, that wraps it up for episode 119 of the Metal Roundtable. And make sure and check out, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can find Johnny Carcass, as I like to call him, on Instagram at Carcass John Art. But you can also go to YouTube, which you're probably watching right now, and find Scott Waters. Just search Scott Waters on there and go to his channel, and he's got killer content, and he's way more professional than we are.
Oh yeah, I just put up my 2021 top 20 of 2021 video, so
Beautiful.
it's up there. Yep. And number 3 on my list was an album that you guys turned me on to, so I didn't even know who they were until I was part of this show.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, with that, thank you for watching. We appreciate you very much. In spite of us being off for 2 weeks, we actually gained some subscribers, which I thought was pretty cool. So, yeah, if nobody's got anything else, until next time, kids, metal
will prevail.
Prevail.
Watch this. I'm going to push the button in just a second. We're going to go right.